The truth is, freelancing is a trap. It might look like freedom, setting your own rates, working from your laptop, but let's be honest, if your income stops the second you stop working, if you're constantly juggling projects just to keep the cash flowing, that's not freedom, that's a digital hamster wheel. The truth is, if you're still trading time for money in 2025, it's just another 9 to 5. I talk to agency owners and freelancers every day who are burning out, not because they aren't skilled or lazy, but because they've built themselves a job, not a system. And as much as I'd love to say that grinding harder will fix it, it won't. It's not a hustle problem, it's a systems problem. So in this video, I'm breaking down the 3 steps to escape the freelancing hamster wheel using sales automation and how to grow a real sales system or sales automation agency in 2025 by doing the opposite of what most gurus are telling you to do. So by the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap to build your own 100K a month sales automation agency using the power of AI systems. So this is how I got to 80K a month with my sales system agency after getting banned on Upwork with over 2K held hostage. So I was making 2 to 3K a month selling one-off automations, but my core service was selling sales systems and lead gen automations, things like cold email systems. Basically the same thing, the same systems that you see me building in this channel. But let me be extremely real with you. I haven't sold that many automations. About 90% of my gigs were lead gen systems. Clients wanted to build out sales systems using AI and automation. So the first thing that I want you to understand is that you need to own your client acquisition. And you might be wondering, Saad, well, what does that mean? Well, it's very, very simple. And I want you to really pay attention to this, okay? So story time, I remember 3 days after getting banned and freelancing platforms were my main source of income. I was extremely stressed, especially because I had a bouncing background and I didn't want to go back to the nightlife. So imagine you had one stream of income and it's completely taken from you and you had big hopes about having a better life. So I remember I went for like 2 days to a small countryside to hibernate because I didn't want to talk to anyone. And the only thing that I had was my phone and a book that was Alex Hormozzi's book. It's called 100 Million Leads. I'm pretty sure everyone who's going to watch this knows this book. So I remember I was reading this and I got to this exact line. I want to really pay attention to this line. If you had more leads coming in than you did before, will you have more sales than you did before? And if you had more sales than you did before, will you have more money than you did before? And if you had more money than you did before, will you have a better life than you did before? Now, I remember when I read this line, it completely hit me in the chest because the cold hard truth that I had to swallow was that me relying on platforms like Upwork, on Fiverr, or any other platform was me completely shooting myself in the foot because I was building on a borrowed land. I did not have any business, okay? Like simply I didn't have any business. I didn't own my leads. I didn't own my distribution, which means I didn't own anything. Like I didn't have anything. So when someone owns the clients, you're not really running any business. You're just playing their game until they kick you out. And that's exactly what happened to me. Now, I want you to ask yourself, when have you ever heard about someone who achieved financial freedom as a freelancer or relying on freelancing platform? I'll wait. Nobody, right? Because it just doesn't exist. So I had all these promises for myself. And I believe like most people are going to watch this have promises to themselves, right? If you're like billions of people, I'm assuming you want to take care of people that you love, right? And most importantly, what about the promises that you've made to yourself? Because the kingdom of heaven is within you. The desert is within you. You want to achieve financial freedom because as humans, we want security. It's intrinsic. It's human nature. Everything that we do in life is based off 3 things. It's pain, trauma, and unmet needs. Now, that's a whole another subject and we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. But the truth is I was completely living in La La Land. Since I was basically in that specific G-spot, and trust me, this is the best way to explain this. It's that specific comfort zone. You know that scary place when you are comfortable, right? I mean, you're not feeling really that bad, but at the same time, you're not living that life that you want, which is called not poor enough to panic, but nowhere near the life or income you want. And the truth is, I'm going to say something that's going to raise a lot of eyebrows. It's better to be destructive and active than frozen and passive. Being in that specific average zone where you're not really feeling bad, but at the same time, you're not in the life or income you want is the scariest place. So what I've done is I went all in on the one thing that actually worked, which was selling sales systems. And I dominated it just because I finally understood that the life I was living was basically a glorified 9 to 5, paycheck to paycheck, enough to eat, sleep, and repeat. So that's the exact moment when everything changed for me. I realized that owning my own client acquisition system isn't optional. It's the way. And it's the difference between having a real business and just having a job with extra steps. So my main point here for most people who are struggling with an unpredictable income is that you need to have a predictable way that constantly finds and connects you with people who need exactly what you offer. And what is the best client acquisition method that does this for you? Well, it's outbound sales system. Because again, let's just be real, okay? Because this video is going to be completely raw. Like, what other options do you actually have? Like, seriously, think about it. If you want to build a following, it's going to take you months, maybe years. If you want to run ads, it's going to cost you thousands before you figure it out. SEO, well, good luck ranking in the next 6 months. Outbound is the only method where you can start with literally nothing and get results within a week. And here's what changes everything. Now we have AI and automation. Now the game is completely different from like 5 to 10 years ago. I can literally find any business owner on earth, learn about them, learn about their business, learn about their principles, and write a personalized message that speaks directly to their problems, pain points, their own business, and get them on a call with me and actually close them. And once you can do this just once, you can scale. Now we have a system built that runs 24/7, bringing you clients while you sleep. And that's what owning your client acquisition really means. One sales system campaign can erase all your financial burden, and I know that to be true because it happened to me. The second principle that I want you to adopt, right, is shift from service provider to corporate business thinking. And this one is actually pretty interesting. And most of the points that I'm going to mention goes against all the popular opinions you've probably heard. Now, let me ask you a question, okay? And it's going to be very, very simple. Who do you think will be richer and more respected? Person A, someone who frames themselves as a growth partner, a strategist, and operates from a more of a consultative point of view. B, a random freelancer that can be replaced by someone cheaper. So the paradigm and the way of thinking that I want you guys to understand is you need to adapt corporate thinking, okay? Just like corporate businesses, I want you to take those big ideas and implement it in your own sales automation business or sales system business. You don't sell features or services. You sell outcomes, okay? You don't compete on price. You compete on the actual results. So trust me, as soon as you will make this shift in your identity, you'll stop talking about the hours you'll spend. Instead, you're going to start talking about the ROI your clients would get. You're going to start to frame everything in terms of ROI, which is the most effective way to do it. So the third principle, and it's extremely, extremely important, frankly, all of these principles are extremely important, is pick one mountain and stick to it. Okay? Now, I want you to make this your mantra, make this your doctrine. Hell, if you can just tattoo it in your body, just do it, okay? I remember when I got my first 12K a month, when I went all in on sales systems, people were like, Sa, why don't you do LinkedIn multi-outreach? Why don't you do this? And I'm like, why would I do it? Like, it's making me money. Like, everything that I'm doing is making me money. Like, why change it? Like, think about it. People who got rich, they stuck to one thing and they eventually got really good at it. Well, guess what? Now they can charge more and clients will stay because you are good at what you do. And the only reason is because you stuck to it. It's that simple. Like, people try to overcomplicate things. And when you start thinking using first principles, and I'm going to quote one of my mentors, which is Charlie Munger, and I would highly recommend you guys read this book. It's called Poor Charlie's Almanac. And it just speaks about how most of these problems, right? Like, when you break down the problems in first principles, like, it's just that simple, you know? Like, this constant temptation to change what's working is what making you miserable, overwhelmed, and eventually burned out. Now, imagine if I listened to these people. Would I be clearing over 100K a month from one single business? Never, right? So define your mountain, know what it is, scope out the land, figure out how you can climb to the top of that thing, climb up there, drive a stake into it, and defend it like hell and own it. Now, final thoughts. There will be years where nothing happens and months or even weeks where everything happens. I want you to understand that trends come and go and people chase the latest AI tools or automation hacks. But there's one thing that will never, never go out of style, which is helping businesses get more customers, which is the core value of basically our business model, which is selling sales systems designed to connect businesses with their ideal customers. So think about it like a restaurant. And this is the best way to explain it. I always say this and I love explaining it to people. Think about it like a restaurant or a grocery store. They never go out of business because people will always need food. You and I will always need food, right? Well, businesses will always need their own kind of food, which is customers and clients. Now, the great part about sales automation and running a sales agency is that it's not just another trend. It's the digital equivalent of a grocery store. So no matter what changes in the technology, no matter what new platform emerges, no new platforms are going to come up, businesses will always need more what? Customers, right? So if you can build systems that deliver those customers predictably and consistently, you will never go hungry again, just like those businesses, okay? So while everyone is distracted by these shiny new AI tools, these bullshit new AI tools and like AI agents, this crazy crap, focus on the basics. Focus on mastering the timeless skill of connecting businesses with their ideal customers through sales automations. That's the mountain worth climbing, and I'll see you at the top. So that's everything you need to know about sales automation. It's a lot to take in, but I'd like to invite you to just apply one of these fundamentals and these principles that I've mentioned in this video. And I'm pretty sure you're going to see improvements and progress in as little as 30 days. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.